Hello and welcome to the Merry Arcade. Okay, so Elden Ring, where were we? We are in Leondell? Whatever the city is called. Actually, Leondell. We're in Leondell, and yeah, we some issues facing off against not Godric. That was the grafted guy at the early on. Against Godfrey, who we were assured is super dead. But yeah, he's some kind of golden shade and a ghost or spirit, and he blocks the path of our progression, and he kicked my ass a bunch towards the end of a stream that was going on for way too long, and yeah, I need to get better at streaming reasonable hours, because by then, because 6-hour streams are not something that works well for me, period. Especially with something like a Souls game. At some point, my level of concentration, my reflexes, they just decline. And I'm in my 30s to begin with, and not one of them Fortnite kids, as it were. And I need my wits in order to play somewhat well. You know, as far as the Ronali, I wanna say, Catholicism through the lens of Japanese horror aesthetic goes, that mask. It's actually somewhat cool. Yeah, so we failed a bunch. Or I failed a bunch. Let's not put this on chat. At all, really. And, so I did what I always do between streams. I, just went to different places, ideally places that I hadn't really, or rather, places that I had, broadly speaking, already explored on stream. You know, in the broad strokes, sorry. Just, you know, hi there in chat. Hello, and welcome. Yeah, so, and then just sifting through little details, like, optional caves and catacombs, and, to accrue more soul levels, to find new stuff. We're playing Elden Ring, and, I would say action-adventure / RPG. And, yeah, what I did find in the process... Acid spray mist? Few mods? Oh, this is from item crafting. Oh. Anyway, is a bunch of new armor. This piece in particular, like the whole... We already have been wielding the Banished Knight halberd for a long time. And, to turns out the armor set is also not too shabby. It's very strong, also very heavy, very well made, as you can see. And, yeah. I missed my chance here to compare it to, I think, what I was wearing towards the end of last stream. So with this one, we're rocking a total physical defense of like 22 point something. I do not. No. And let's go back to that loadout I had on previously. It's not. And there, 35, so like at least a 50% gain. Obviously this is way too heavy for us to stay in the medium load range. And I'm just gonna put on the Great Jaws Arsenal, which I got by finally defeating those 3 black, sorry, 3 red phantoms over here by the giant jar. And that was really it. I thought we would maybe get to enter this compound or anything. No, the jar just wordlessly handed me this talisman, the Great Jar's Arsenal, vastly raises equipment load. I like how I think these equipment load charms get progressively heavier, but this doesn't really matter because they also provide a progressively higher bonus to how much you can carry without being over encumbered. But yeah, even with that, the even with that, the overall weight of this armor is still a lot. But I like that the helmet with that scarf on combines really nice with the scale armor that we've had for a while. And yeah, still much better defenses, and of course I've had our armor upgraded a little bit here and there. Put a whole bunch of like got some new soul levels for higher FP to finally get to 100 and almost 1000 HP respectively. I realized what the item we got when that lady very early into the game gave us a hug, that being in the possession of that item actually lowers your maximum health by 5%. And it's kind of a cruel practical joke on part of FromSoft, which, okay, well played. I've since gotten rid of it, and there's absolutely no harm in using it and being done with it. But yeah, every time we got one-shotted, there is a small chance that it happened because of that debuff that I was carrying around. Anyway, let's do something mildly exciting. Let's fight this boss again. I should have picked a faster weapon, because this guy moves very quickly. I'm literally a slowpoke. Yeah. Also, what? You can't... You know, after streaming Elden Ring for about 10 attempts, I could have at least made the effort of moving up my little camera stand in for so you can see my soul level. Guess it would make the stakes a little more excited. But yeah, about 31k that I just lost for the moment, and that I will have to repeatedly recover on every attempt. Also, new weapon. I found the Claymore. An old friend for souls. For Dark Souls fans. It's kind of a very basic choice in the sense that if I wasn't gonna use a halberd based on my Dark Souls 1 experience, God, this is all too slow. If I wasn't gonna use a halberd, then a claymore would probably another, like a top 5 contender. Because it's just a very comfortable moveset. It's got its slashes, got its poke. Has a very strong overall output, and you can turn just about every weapon now in Elden Ring into something that works reasonably well with dexterity build. So there's that. No, but let's get serious. We need something fast, and I have 2 or 3 options there. I should also just remember to take my vitamins, or rather, bring my buff drink every attempt. So there is, I think they're called the Night Patrol or something, a group of very spooky riders in black. One of them dropped this, which is ridiculous. Triple flail, triple chain flail with spikes. I wanted a good strike weapon, so this was basically a godsend. And of course we still have our starting weapon, the Uchi Katana, improved to plus 16. I'm told it goes to plus 30 in this game. And this is wild, because it still feels that these increases, they still feel a lot like the power increases in older Souls games, where it would go to plus 15 tops. But yeah, only shows that this is a very, very big game, and I'm actually not quite sure how far we're even in it. And, but that's exciting. Already feeling a little more comfortable with the sword. Anyway, you can see I still get hit, I still die, but I feel like it's easier for me to sway between defense and offense, simply because of the speed of the weapon. Also, it's not even the strongest piece in our arsenal right now. That honor goes to the Golden Epitaph, and I will give this one a shot. But I'm also not entirely sure how much damage it does against this guy, because this guy just screams to me, holy. Like he's one of the central figures of this whole religion in this game. He's bright golden, so... And since this weapon that we have equipped right now does a lot of holy damage, he might have a certain amount of resistance against it. Wow, we actually do more damage with this little buff. Not a huge amount, but it does more. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. I should have considered that this cookie is maybe a little too crisp to consume during a stream. Sure, why not? Let's go all out. And also... We're pretty much buffed up to the eyelids. Oh, nope. And if movement speed is just very clearly delineated between medium or heavy load, or if it's gradual. Because I have a feeling we were a little faster earlier, but then again, I'm still just kind of warming up, so... Also, you know, there's always the option to bring in the boys. Oh, I hate this character just slowly getting up from being stunned and then suddenly, I mean not suddenly, actually quite predictably there's this follow-up slash that we have no option to dodge in anyway. don't really mind taking damage. We get 10 potions. It's more like being interrupted or constantly forced onto the back foot. I spoiled myself a little bit when I looked up whether or not this boss has any particular strength or weakness regarding Holy. And apparently we're still gonna be fighting the real deal. How that's going to work, I don't, lore-wise, I have no idea, but yeah, sure. So he's hoping that when we fight Godfrey for real, and not just this, I don't know, apparition, projection, memory, that he's gonna have a more complete version of his theme. Because I feel the music is just a little repetitive and does not have all that many musical ideas beyond this one choir bit that just keeps increasing in intensity without any real payoff. And it's cool when the horns drone in. Son of a bitch. And I have no ranged weapon equipped to finish him off. Oh, that fell. What a relief. And another talisman pouch. Woohoo! Okay, let's slightly demilitarize our character. Or maybe just diversify. Should also handily pay for the next couple of them. Let's see, I was increasing faith most recently. Although I keep wondering if a low amount of faith just for utility would have been the smartest choice, and then really just going hard on Dex and Int. If we're going by the oldish Dark Souls meta, like there's no maximum level. I think you can take your character to level 999, maybe? Or it goes into the triple digits. Like, sky's the limit. Of course, the levels become more and more expensive, so at some point the cost of souls / runes becomes quite untenable. But like the online meta of, I guess, if you're into PvP, or I guess just in general, was what people consider a proper build in a Souls game. I think that there's like a sort of by the community agreed upon limit of like 120, sometimes higher, but that's usually also the level that I kind of mentally build to. So we have about not quite 40 soul levels left, and yeah, putting that in Dex and Faith could work. Or if I decide that a Faith can only serve us that much, I might respec and lower that again, and then go hard on Dex and Intelligence, or even maybe even forgo Dex and just leave it for the requirements, and lean into weapons that are intelligence based. And a lot of really cool weapons in this game are. There's one that I found just now. Okay, this one's kind of an outlier because it needs 24 intelligence, 24 faith. That's pretty, you know, relatively high if you don't want to do anything else with that particular stat. I don't think it really does any of its effects, but it's a weapon that scales with 4 stats, and I imagine it can get pretty powerful. I found it going through some areas we've already broadly been to, and yeah, I'm not gonna bend over backwards just to use it. In fact, I'm usually a little annoyed by weapons that are that extra with their requirements. But I'm sure that a lot of cool builds could be based on that. Oh. These, oh yeah, no, these ladies were like the priest of soothsayers of the Erdtree or Queen Marika religion. I mentioned last stream that I really like the atmosphere of Lindau. It has a very, I mean, the entire game has like a very sepulcher-esque, you know, very, the entire game feels like you're kind of walking over a graveyard or visiting a gravesite or like a memorial to a past civilization. But this city in particular doesn't just have this, this is a place that used to be something and now it is no longer that, or now it's only it now only provides sudden death by inexplicable bottomless pit. But also only like a, you know, yeah. I don't know if we have an analogy or, similar situations and places. In the real world? I guess, I mean, not to be topical to the point of morbidity, I imagine war zones or recent war zones could have this effect where you're like, okay, this used to be someone's home and now it's, or this is a city where people used to live and now it's just this shell of what it used to be. And the land or lands between this entire kingdom that we've been exploring throughout the game feels like that, and a lot of Souls games have that. They all tell these stories of kingdoms befallen by some sort of calamity, usually involving bad decisions on part of their leaders. But sometimes just, I don't know, in something inevitable. Like in Dark Souls 2 you can kind of see where King Lothric, the King of Drangleic, in Dark Souls 2 you can kind of see where he went wrong. In spite of his best intentions, of course. And I don't even mean that sarcastically. Like on my most recent Dark Souls 2 playthrough, I got the impression that he was really maybe not the unsung hero of the story, but just a very put upon and tragic figure. And whereas in Dark Souls 1 and I guess by extension 3, Gwyn was kind of fighting entropy beyond anything else. Like he had this godlike power, but could not prevent his domain from declining. And there's a tragedy in that too, of course. Like I don't know how Gwyn, if the games ever characterize Gwyn in any way, where we get a glimpse at what kind of person he was, because he's the characters, these living gods in the Souls games, they're still very much gods in the sense of, ancient Greece or Norse mythology. Essentially very powerful people or very powerful monarchs. Regression alone reveals secrets. Okay. Where am I going with this even? Anyway, all Souls games kind of show you a place that was befallen by some sort of calamity. Efforts to stem the tide were in vain, and maybe you were the person to turn back time or, you know, make things maybe better. Or make these places come alive again. But very often you're also cautioned that whatever life you can give these places will only be temporary anyway. What fascinates me about the city is that it doesn't just show you the devastation and the horror and, I guess, that desolation. But there's something really sad about this place, and a lot of it is the music, but also the really undeniable beauty. I also only just noticed the falling leaves, like... I wonder if the Earth tree is supposed to be like an evergreen? A tree that just never experiences winter. But now it does for the first time, and everyone and everything around it is dying. Where's that emote at? No, it's not the same. We were told that there was a monument to God Queen America's second husband in this city, and that the guy had a dark secret that was somehow hidden with his monuments. I'm guessing this is the guy. But we're still missing the right emote, I think. Because sometimes just doing those, the right one in the right place, and just trigger something in the world. Anyway, there's something very beautiful but also mournful about this place. But I also get a sense that this is, yeah, a typical city of the gods. Also very much in the sense of the rich and powerful, because not the entire city, and certainly not the entire kingdom, looks this posh. When you get to the lower levels, there was definitely an underclass in this place. And some of these characters definitely lived in abject squalor. And maybe this is a very modern perspective, but if I was ruled by a so-called God Queen, I would kind of expect that disparity in the sense of the rich and the poor would be something that would be gone basically immediately. Motherfucker. I love how stupid and fun the flails are in this game. There's really nothing here, it seems. I mean, on first glance. Besides this, will-o-wisp of sorts, and this very tough enemy. It's not as bad as it used to be last session. Pretty much every enemy would very easily one or two shot me. The character's gotten more robust, and I'm happy for that. But also, do they need to be this sturdy? Also, do I need to waste valuable time on stream for this? Valuable time in the sense that I really want to reach the O3 now and get an idea of what is what, story-wise. like they'll probably not reveal everything, but I imagine there will be at least some kind of information dump once we find Queen Marika, or very pointedly don't find her. And yeah, I want to do that, and I ideally want to be able to do that under 3 hours today. Worth a shot. Screw you! So, the Black Bow. Another old favorite from the Souls days. Has been, I think, the first time I've actually enjoyed, like, fully gotten to enjoy a bow in a Dark Souls game, or, you know, Souls adjacent game. Because of its barrage skill. Like, maybe it already could do that in Dark Souls 3 and I just didn't notice. But with that you can fire arrows at a speed, at a cost for FP and all that. Where for once I'm like, yep, now this bow is at least somewhat justified in the amount of resources I put into upgrading it. And also just in comparison to other weapons in the game. There's just straight up nothing here. Maybe not a good idea. Yeah, I'm also curious what's up with that. This gigantic crack in the earth tree. Like, did the people do that? Did they basically got the golden goose? As in, yeah, let's harvest its sap. Oops, we've killed or severely injured the thing that kept our biosphere alive. And you look like a lot. Cool, cool. Oh, way too fast for that. Where is he? Yep. some good Dance of the Boreal Valley on this one. And this is also just classic, like it's game design 101 on placing a new dangerous enemy. Give players the chance to meet this type of foe in a way that is the least threatening and frustrating. Because we're close to a resting side, we just beat a boss. It's all very chill, and we get to fight this enemy on pretty even ground with no bottomless pits nearby and all that. That's all there to ensure that we get an idea of what this enemy is all about, so that when they show up later in more complex and more threatening scenarios, it's a little less grating to fight them. Or rather, they gave us an opportunity to learn about them. I love the little backflip our character does when you block a really hard hitting attack successfully. Like the shear force still pushes you back, but character gets to do a cool flip and land on their feet. Oh. Huh. Game just went and crashed on me. I would love to say it hasn't done that before, and I think this is our first on-stream crash. We've been pretty lucky, but I just had an evening a couple of days ago where I was just playing it very casually, just combing through previous areas and all that. and it would just crash every 15 minutes until I restarted my computer, so fingers crossed it doesn't come to that. No idea what specifically caused it, but yeah, technically the game is in a bit of a rough spot. Enemies like this that make me think maybe I should just get a really good dagger to add to my arsenal, just for the, or whatever is the like fastest hitting attack. Don't bore me with animations, just get some damage in there. Oh, what are these here? Are these like old tablets of writing? Yeah, it's helpful that the camera wants to make stuff transparent for us to better see it, but like to better make room for situational awareness. Oh, I've seen this place in load screens. This is... Of course it's the Queen's Bed Chamber, because it also looks a lot like the Princess's Futon in the first Dark Souls. Yeah, I wonder what these tablets all entail. I mean, they're filled with writing, and I wonder if the Queen was just a very avid reader. Maybe I should rest here. Maybe something will happen with our companion, the maiden, has recently left our... Nope. Our company. And there's another boss fight. Come on. Give us a hint. I don't want to fight something right exactly now, simply because we have almost a level in souls. So I'm just gonna bamf over to one of the merchants and sell some trinkets for just enough souls so we can level up. Also, that spell she gave us, or rather, that we found in the bad chamber. No, just how high the requirements for that is.
Goodbye for now.
That's enough. 38, that's almost reasonable. Grants greater blessings to self and nearby allies. 60 FP. That's a little beyond, you know, just for utility, but... also a little concerning that I haven't really found much in the way of faith-based attacks. I mean, they kind of folded pyromancy into faith in this one. So... yeah, sure, there's that, but even that, I haven't found anything that tosses... allows me to toss lightning or... or even any bigger old school fireballs or whatever.
Graceless, tarnished. What is thy business with these thrones?
I mean... you used to look better, didn't you?
The twin prodigies, Mikola and Melania. General Radahn.
Yeah, he of the tiny
Praetor
horse.
Picard. Luna Princess Rani. Willful traitors, all. Thy kind are all of a piece. Pillagers, emboldened by the flame of ambition.
Pot and kettle. Ooh, pretty.
Have it writ upon thy meager grave. Felled by King Morgoth, last of all kings. These foolish ambitions to rest.
I hate him so much. He is named Margaret or Morgoth. Well, if he wants to tussle, it can be arranged. Come on, boys. You know how this guy tastes. Okay, so I'm just slightly peeved by the idea that we have another roadblock boss in front of us. Because this guy is not gonna come cheap. And I was good and ready to just do some exploring or find some plot stuff, and makes me kind of wonder, like, what dramatic beat did having Godric's ghost here, like, what was he guarding? Empty bed chambers, and the real prize is guarded by this prick. Like, in terms of pacing, I'm just... ugh. Confounded. Oh shit. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Game hasn't really elaborated yet on the nature of all these curses. I mean, obviously, it's a FromSoft game. It's not gonna come in one neat package. But yeah, it makes me wonder if it's distinct from the Crimson Rod. Or whatever Dung Eater is on about, the creepy guy who showed up in our hub. That's actually got Dung Eater from the intro. And I found him, like, he was a Red's phantom in the hub, and I found and released his real body in one of the sewers while I was offline. As always, this might just be a colossal mistake, but it's not like could progress in his quest line without committing to that. So yeah, there's that. Also, this guy probably deals a whole lot of holy damage. I didn't have my God damn it. Okay, that's the kind of mistake that's a little bit embarrassing. By the way, speaking of holy, my wondrous physic. Ah, gotten a lot more potent. Oh wait, that's for holy attacks. Shame. I was hoping this was for resistances. Oh, carry on then. Really good feint there, coming in with the hammer and then just casually hitting me with the sword. Not a great position to be in, this close with the back to the wall. By the way, I'm just intermittently muting myself to chew on a cookie, so don't want those sounds to become too obnoxious. You know, I can also just call the boys now, all the good it'll do. Yeah, so bleeding damage does good work against him. Okay, so the explosion is pretty powerful. Also, yeah. I wonder what that curse is. Like, they've been throwing around like a mentioned just now are various form of ailments that kind of seem to be very spectacular and very fantastical. The Crimson Rot, and so on and so forth. And I mean, those are not just all Bloodborne references. Like something was afoot, lore-wise. I also don't mind dying here a bunch. So there are no souls at stake. There are the checkpoint is super close by. I can probably get away with converting my 2 mana flasks into health flasks. Hey. Why does it always rain on me? Oh wow. But that's good information. So these little dagger showers, they persist for a while, but only in the spots that have already been hit, and they're apparently very volatile. I mean, this is also phase 2 of the fight, so... I suppose calling the boys in the second phase could give me a little bit of a reprieve. Can only warm up the blade while I'm already walking towards him. Get a little more time in on that end. All of those were fair, as in earned. controls feel sluggish. I should maybe try and compromise on It's very uncomfortable, really. Damn. Just... I mean, he literally pulls his hammer from hammer space, meaning out of his ass. Metaphorically, I hope. But that was a quick turnaround. Thing is, these are all I have relevant to this mess. Like lowest FP consumed by skills, but I mean, I don't even get to use my combat skills, meaning the special techniques and my weapons all that much. Cutting it a little close here, but come on. I didn't consider the fact that all his golden attacks are also charged with, I hope, holy energy. Because if it's lightning, then I have a different problem. Or it's a problem I'm not properly addressing. How have I done so little damage? Got like 6 or 7 good swipes in there. I had to pivot more strongly to rolls and dodges rather than blocking, because blocking will just cost me slightly less. Here, the lightning and holy resistance about 40 to 50%. This one also gives me more holy. What else? Oh man, here everything is even slightly better across the board. And it looks wild. It's too slow. I mean, the battery of my gamepad blinking also be an indication that not transmitting perfectly, but I will not put it on the gamepad, really. So let's play a different route. Only when I charge my gamepad, I specifically hook it up. Like when I charge it during stream, I specifically hook it up through a power bank and keep it running, keep it connected to the computer only via Bluetooth, just to avoid, you know, Windows being like, oh, this is an entirely different device now. forward row feels super sluggish. Like I'm almost on the fast row, on the slow row. I mean. Yeah, but now I've disabled Bluetooth and I'm just going in with the cable, you know, just to make sure, but I'm honestly not imagining it to be radically better. Can do though. Is it faster? Is it slower? Hell. This would be light load. But the character's also a lot squishier like that. I didn't equip my talisman, and I'm back on medium load. Everything is awful. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like a weird pivot. Where did that last one come from? That one I really had trouble following.
These foolish ambitions to rest.
I'll be hung up on another boss for the entire stream. That just doesn't sound like fun. I mean, I could always call the cavalry, that is, switch to online mode and get some operators, but I want it to be misplaced gamer pride. I also kinda wanna solo this as best as I can. Not to mention that multiplayer is also a factor that as a content creator I can only control up to a point. You know, in ways that I may not be entirely comfortable with. Go on. Come on.
These foolish ambitions to rest.
His horizontal slice with the real sword is kind of has this quality of the classic cutting through a candle and or through an enemy, and only a second later you realize that you've been hit. I mean, sure, the "you're dead" sound in Dark Souls is instantaneous, but it still is. Wait, what? That hit? Oh dang! And this was I could have sworn I rolled moment, but again, I don't want to blame it on the gamepad or anything. Weird. Again. Hmm. Maybe also not using this one a whole lot. Like, that's the fastest way to just disengage from an enemy. But also, the range is limited. I don't believe you get any iframes from performing a roll. And I probably... Like, I don't really use it per se, so getting that anchored into my muscle memory. After God knows how many 100 hours. I should also be really careful with that swing. I know what I can do. I put a really kick-ass weapon skill by Claymore. And it should be compatible. I'd like to think that this one has a shorter wind-up. There's also just a little more devastating overall. Son of a bitch. Come on, really? Yeah, no, it's cheeky to get trying to get more hits in while a boss enters the second phase. There's always some kind of explosion, and there's always, you know. Oh, two of our brave peppers made it until they didn't.
Thy part in this shall not be forgiven.
No, 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 move, move, move. Shit. Doable. Takes all my resources. But it's doable. Oh, the holy proof liver really made a difference regarding his, well, holy weapons.
The thrones. Stone. I cannot bear. Thy part in this shall not be forgiven.
Motherfucker. At least throw me... No, don't throw me back against the wall, you cheap ass. Oh dear, oh dear. No, no. Oh, I can take this one, but I don't like it. No. Oh. Whoa. Not a great run. Oh, and he reverted from his curse.
Thou art but a fool. The Erd Tree wards off all who deign approach. We are all forsaken. None may claim the title of Elden Lord. Thy deeds shall be met with failure, just as I.
Makes me wonder if he was just like us. Impenetrable thorns refuse all. None may enter the Earth Tree. Yeah, we also don't get that from bordering it. I'm guessing assembling the last shards is what we have to do. There she is. Right on
Hello
time.
again, old friend. Allow me a moment to converse with you. You were unable to
Yeah,
enter the
where
Erd
were
Tree,
you?
no? Prevented by the mantle of barbs. The thorns are impenetrable, a husk of the Erd Tree's being that spurns all that exists without. The only way to stand before the Elden Ring and become the is to pass the thorns. My purpose serves to aid in that very act. So I'd like you to undertake a new journey with me to the Flame of Ruin. far above the clouds, upon the snowy mountain tops of the giants. Then I can set the Erd Tree aflame and guide you down the path to becoming Elden.
I see several issues with that. Also, is a chainsaw an option? Row of medal. Red mark was made on the map.
I wish to journey with you once more to the flame of ruin, far above the
You would
clouds,
tell me if you were the
upon
devil,
the snowy
right?
mountain tops of the
Like,
giants.
of this world.
Then I can set the Erd Tree aflame and guide you
So?
down the path to becoming Elden.
Yeah, I wonder if she's some kind of splinter or projection of Marika, because Marika, the goddess Marika, is said to be entombed or, imprisoned in the Earth Tree. And if she's just like, yeah, set it on fire, set me free.
I wish to journey with you to the flame then and guide you.
Anyway, let's
Shall
just
I
level
turn
up.
your runes to strength? Let my hand rest upon you for but a moment.
We haven't
Share
seen
them
that in a
with
long
me.
time.
Your thoughts, your ambitions, the principles you would follow.
Really, really bad vibes. They won't even let me sit on it. Let's see if people in the hub have new things to say.
Hello. You. What is it? Find the Albinoric woman. She hides in a cave to the west of the Laskia ruins, which jut from the mist-shrouded lake of Liurnia. She knows the location of the medallion's counterpart, I'm sure. If you're heading to the Forge of the Flame of Ruin, in the snowy mountaintop of the Giants, you'll need to find the Grand Lift of Rold, beyond the Forbidden Region. Or go if you would. Take no heed of cardinal sin. The Two Fingers lost their purpose a long, long time ago. If you're heading, you'll need to go if you would. The Two Fingers.
Wow. Everyone's just going for broke, huh? Yeah, let's torch the Earth Tree. Let's go through that area where it's cardinal sin to even enter. Which, what our character does. What our character does is inherently transgressive, but even so.
Well, you know The fingers remain still, shaken by this turn of events. They are busy consulting the greater will. When they are finished, the fingers will again offer their guidance. But thousands, if not tens of thousands, of moons must first pass. No matter for me, but you. How will you ever manage the weight? My, oh my.
Almond cloak, queen's bracelets, queen's legging. Ah. Being slaughtered countless champions during the shattering of the Fell Omen has become a horror for those who harbor ambitions for the Earth Tree of the Lordship. Not that much I gathered. So we could get the Cursed Sword. Oh, has a nice curved great sword. Not even terribly heavy. Obviously has a high dex requirement, a bit of an arcane requirement. Seems cool enough. The accursed blood that Morgoth recanted and sealed away reformed into this blade. Regal Omen Bound. Door of Crespond Barn from the Erdreath's rail line. Uses FP to unleash many wraiths that chase down foes. Omen babies are born of royalty and do not their horns Omen babies born of royalty do not have their horns excised, but instead are kept underground, unbeknownst to anyone, imprisoned for eternity. These memorial fetishes are fashioned in secret. That's horrifying. Guess it's kinda like a spell. Let's take this.
Heavens forbid. That is not the domain of mere men. The burning of the Earth Tree is the first cardinal sin. And you say you seek the power of the Rune of Death too? The Rune of Death goes by two names. The other is Destined Death. The forbidden shadow plucked from the Golden Order upon its creation. Unleashing the rune now would be unthinkable. The fingers would never permit it. Nor would the greater will. But here we are. The fingers dormant, severing our link to the greater will. The realm and all life in ruins. Impossible events transpire beyond the ken of the fingers. Who is to say that the cardinal sin must be cardinal
Wow,
forever?
everyone's just compromising now.
Finish the job. Take the course you deem most worthy. Now go let the words of the...
Oh, yes. How's everyone else doing in this wonderful abode that we have?
Greetings. Are you here for spirit?
He doesn't. Didn't
Well, I took you for no matter. It's lay out your arms then.
he? Like, I would very much like to do that. before you next come to the outer moat. Oh, that isn't an inviting booty call. Oh yeah, let's deal with this asshole real quick. So this is Dung Eater. Basically, we freed him now. Oh, he wants to challenge us. I think this might be the outer moat. There's a place where you can go down to the water. So you would imagine that Margaret will no longer arrest us in this general area on account of an acute case of death. Could be wrong. Also makes me wonder if I would have encountered him more regularly, like kind of like the pursuer in Dark Souls 2.
Your the Tarnished would one day become Elden Lord and restore the Golden Order. Surely you see it too. The gold that enshrouds the heavens. The great tree which begets the pillars of light. Oh, Tarnished. And whatever you might face, the fingers.
Fingers will surely guide me. Yeah. How? You're super dead. Iridian Amber Medallion +1. What do you do? Greatly raises maximum stamina. Ooh, respectable. So that's 16? That's nothing to sneeze at. Anyway, we weren't really given a way to go here. Like there was no immediate progress to be made. But also there was always this gate near the Divine Bridge. But it was a teleporter that wasn't active yet. I mean, there's also still a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, teleporter remains inactive. well, okay, so we're coming up on 2.5 hours. I could call this here. It was a pretty successful stream, but, how about I take all my newfound swagger? Actually, do another level up, because with 50k in the bank, I really should. And I'm gonna take a break, briefly to go to the bathroom, and we're gonna try and go with the tiny horse guy. Radan or some of such, and maybe we get lucky. Be right back. And we're back. Let's see. Somewhere out there, and, all the rest of the song, was a merchant. Maybe on the isolated merchant shack that I failed to mark with the symbol I picked for that. Because I still have about 8,000 souls. That's
unusual. This aged merchant has.
this one has these serpent arrows, which cause heavy poison buildup.
Have a safe
Just gonna
journey.
dump all of that. there. Pick the shield back up for the moment. I can use this? Because my stats are temporarily inflated by the great rune I used. Actually, speaking of great runes, let's go to this great tower. Let's see if we get to activate. Nope. Not for this guy. Actually, while we're able to wield it, let's just check out. Okay, very slow, ponderous swings. I'm sure it's great, but I'm not sure it's for me. Anything I really wouldn't mind. A new katana, and I think I found one that goes off a cane, one that goes off intelligence, but none that goes off faith, or just the physical attributes, so... And I checked, there's no faith-based. So far, as people have found out. There's no faith-based katana in the game. I mean, it's not technically true, right? Yeah, I could always go into Ashes of War and imbue it like so. But this would always come at a considerable cost. For the dexterity scaling, and I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that. What I dislike is that the game basically asks you to do the math yourself. Like, I don't get a preview here for the right armament. Like, right hand armament 1 on the upper right with 374. I need a preview for that. Or I could use one. Let's say I do this and just pick one of these. Okay, 450. That is actually a lot. Wait, does it? This one still mostly goes off deck scaling. Wait, is there a difference? As opposed to... Yeah. I mean, yeah, sure, let's go. And even gets another enchantment. Oh wow, and this temporary enchantment buffs it up to 500 something. That is, yeah, no, that is pretty cool. Yes, I don't really need an inherently faith-based katana because I just turned my regular ass sword into that. But I can no longer enchant my blade, right? Nope. Sacred rings of light. Because this isn't... because I don't have it equipped. Again, they could do more to make this... make these changes more transparent. It is a considerable damage increase. But also note that with an e-scaling on dexterity, I'm basically... I don't need that much dex to begin with. Like, I would really only need it for requirements anymore. If I went that route. Right. Oh, Morgoth's Great Rune has burned out apparently. Seek the Divine Tower of East Atlas, which stands beyond the Great Bridge from Lindale's eastern ward. Huh. I suppose there's still a ways to go. Actually, I'm more inclined for like I'm more down for exploration right now than another boss that might succeed or not succeed. That was basically what I was hoping for after we got Godfrey down. Right, this is where we started out. Just looking back to the entrance of the city in general. Oh, hi!
Oak, the seamster, at your service, master. Ready to make adjustments to your garments. Master, did you see it? The Erd tree.
Yeah, it's quite something.
I don't really have the words for this, but I was so dazzled. I felt something stir in my breast. The Erd tree is waiting for you, master. I know it, I do. I feel it in my bones. Oh, please do be...
And I think Bog was also an offline meeting. Bog was also an offline adventure. Not a whole lot. Like, you meet him, he's badly beat up. He wants his seamster tools back, or rather, tries to get them back, but fails because all the other folks in his tribe are assholes. And then you help him out, and he will alter your garments for you, if they can be altered, at no charge. Yeah, and he seems to be a genuinely kind soul, and especially since his mother used to be a seamstress, and he just wants to follow in her footsteps. And yeah, very sweet lad. And this guy. Not so sweet. Oh, did we get a little master sword? Full health splash there. Oops. Oh, I hate these guys so much. They have like about double the health they need to be fun enemies. And yeah, can really blindside you. I mean, they have a long-range weapon. I guess the idea that they... Like, I guess blindsiding is part of the point. There are other options. So this is the special ability of the Black Bow, and I like it a lot. Oh, fucking hell. This one really hurts because those poison arrows cost a pretty penny and we don't have too many of them. Yeah, I just buttered this guy up with like 10 arrows and it didn't take. Maybe I finally found an argument for VR gaming. Like maybe the depth perception of those strikes is a little less subversive or, you know, unexpected. motherfucker! That was actually really clever. It's not even that I cannot anticipate these strikes reaching me. I mean, I struggle with that. But that it's like, he is a big stab. Have one more right away. Oh, your health bar's down? Probably don't even have to fill this guy, but there. And I'm gonna be combing through this entire complex, like the city. There it was again. The poison didn't even take. Like, okay. Fuck that. That was basically a one hit. Hmm. Son of a bitch. I've also grown a little bit cynical regarding but that's not a Souls game peeve, that's a most video games peeve. regarding status effects, like I've had good results with bleeding damage, because it just builds an extra meter, and when that one's full, there's a huge burst of bonus damage. That's it. Like right now, I'm not sure what this guy being frozen really entails. Is he slower? I don't know. Doesn't feel like it. If it's a matter of, I don't know, stamina regeneration, actually I should know this. Frost. It fucks with damage absorption and stamina recovery. Okay. Contrapoint. I don't think every enemy in this game is beholden to stamina limits. Like, it does not feel that way at all. I've fought a bunch of stronger enemies where it's like, yeah, no, it's gonna run out of steam for a little bit. In just a second, right? Right? Any second now? And now they will just keep coming. And that can feel a little bit like bullshit. Actually, this is still the holy city, so a lot of these folks are gonna be rocking a good deal of holy absorption or defense. Oh yeah, let's just go nasty and turn it into a blood-sword briefly. Okay, we don't even get the backstab. I feel like a boxer who doesn't have enough reach on his opponent. Okay, yeah, no, that attack is a straight up one-shot. I... Oh. 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 I suppose it stands to reason that right now this enemy is presented to me as optional, along with his buddy, whom we met earlier. Well, let's just carry on for the moment and try to find the east gate. I didn't really pay much attention to the side town. Guys, if I need a band or a party, I'll call. Yeah. Shouldn't they contract the poison? Ah, even while blocking, yeah. But again, poison feels like such a weak sauce thing. Against certain enemies, frostbite seems to be basically useless. Poison is okay for cheesing stuff. If you're patient. Although this one charge of poison will also not kill this guy. But then, yeah. There are techniques to inflict the Scarlet Rot or whatever it's called on enemies. Maybe I should just seek out merchants who have that if I've not hunted them yet. I don't remember, honestly. Because that one seems to be... I think that's basically the version of Toxic. Like the Toxic used to be the really bad case of poison in Souls games, and it's run out, and really don't feel like spending more. Not to worry, this one's not as absurdly powerful as the other guy. But as we can see, still no slouch. Let that eastern gate be. I wonder if I could have opened this earlier? But I guess this direction was also just never interesting, because I wanted to get to the Earth Tree. So I don't think I even tried. But yeah, it's a good bow. Oh, it's one of those. Literally, I got cocky there for a second. appreciate that there's no stamina. Oh, this is where we got killed like 100 times. Small town. I appreciate that there's no stamina consumption while you're just exploring. What the speedrunning community is already doing with this game. And cutting is way too close for no good reason. Buy me a drink. Actually, oh, this one's just hanging out. No harm done. Now let's finally ascend this big ass staircase. And God help me if there's just another hard-nosed boss just to get out of town. Because that would be extremely this game's style. I think that perfumer is starting a cult. Oh no, not. Nope. Yeah, golden light. Is there a tower nearby? No. Nope.